everybody, my name is Mars, you can call me MG if you would like, and today is March 1st, which means it is the start of Vox Machina-thon Stories Untold, the fourth round of the readathon that I host whenever Critical Role releases a new book. This one, of course, is to celebrate the release of Stories Untold, which is a short story collection that covers stories from 10 different characters that all interacted with Vox Machina on their adventures. It's to celebrate the 10th anniversary of Critical Role as a whole, and it's just such an exciting time. The setup of the readathon is that since there are 10 characters involved in these stories, I have assigned each one a reading prompt and an activity prompt, and you get to choose between them. You don't have to do both, you just have to do one, or you don't have to do any of them really, but the idea is that you pick between them for each character, and they are dropping every Tuesday and Saturday. That one set of prompts drops, and I really don't know how this is gonna go. I am completely winging the actual completion of the prompts on my end. Hopefully other people are being, I was gonna say a little bit more prepared, but how prepared can you be when the prompts are dropping sporadically and not ahead of time? You do a little bit of planning, but not much. I personally think that this is going to be a very activity-heavy reading vlog because I've got a large TBR for the month. Not a lot of it overlaps with the reading prompts that I've made, which, like, the reading prompts fit the vibes of the characters, and that's really all that matters. I didn't want to tailor them to the books I'm going to be reading because that makes no sense. But yeah, I'm probably going to be doing the activity prompts for most of them, and I have no concrete plans as to when I'm going to be doing them. So it's all up in the air. I am just gonna do things as I can and hope for the best. So I just wanted to come on here and do a little intro to this vlog and explain what's going on, and I guess I will just see you whenever I start doing prompts. Okay, friends, it is now Tuesday the 4th, and I'm going to be completing my first task, not task, what are they called? Prompt. My first prompt for the round of Vox Machina-thon that we're on. Wow, I'm so out of it right now, but you know what? We're gonna roll with it. So the prompt that I will be completing is for Raishan. I am in fact doing the activity prompt, and Raishan's activity prompt is to complete a task that has been plaguing you. And you know what's really been plaguing me? My bookshelves. So I, back in January, reorganized them, as I do every few months, and I decided to go with alphabetical order this time. Except for one thing. This shelf right here that you can't see, you can just barely see the tops of the books peeking out over my ginormous chair. That entire shelf is John Flanagan. It's the Ranger's Apprentice books and all the spin-off series and the prequel series and all that. That's all John Flanagan. He should be before Cornelia Funk, who is this half of this shelf. Except I switched them for spacing reasons. It bothers me. It didn't for a while, and then I looked at it and I'm like, wow, the fact that that's the only place where it's not in alphabetical order, it's starting to get to me, so I'm gonna fix it. And I think there's some books I'm going to add to my unhaul pile. I have a gigantic unhaul pile. The entire bottom shelf of one of these bookcases is just unhaul books, and so you'll be getting a very long unhaul video. Probably not for quite a while yet, but sometime in the spring. But there are a few books on that shelf that I want to unhaul, and I think with that and some creative like stacking, I can get John Flanagan to fit, because this space will be slightly larger, and I think I can fit all of John Flanagan's books there, and then I can move Cornelia Funk to be after him, and then just shift everything to take up the space. So that's what I'm gonna do. I do have some books over here on my TBR cart that I have not read yet, but will be reading this month, and I should take those into account. Yeah, there's a couple of them. Well, see, I don't know. One of them's Rick Riordan, which I know I'll be finishing and keeping and loving forever. The other one, though, I'm not sure if it's one that I want to keep, because I don't know if I'm gonna like it. It's fine. I won't make space for them. I will make space for the book that I'm currently reading, because it actually has a space on the shelf right now. It's a reread, so I'll just pop that back on there to make sure it has its space, because I know I won't be getting rid of it. But the other books, I'll just fit them in when I finish reading them if I'm keeping them. Yeah, so that's my plan. I am going to get to doing that now. I probably should have had breakfast before this, but it's fine. I'll just be extra hungry afterwards from using my muscles and all that. Yeah, I'm just gonna stop babbling and get to reorganizing, and hopefully I don't hate it more than this bothers me now. So keep your fingers crossed for me. Okay, so I've done the top 2 shelves, and it did involve splitting up John Flanagan. I couldn't get him to fit quite onto one part of the shelf like I wanted to, but it's fine. What I did is, in that top section, it's the original Ranger's Apprentice series and the 2 prequel books, and then over on the next shelf is the spin-off series for the Brother Band Chronicles, so I'm okay with it being split that way. Wallace's book got to move up, so now it's on that second shelf. It does kind of bother me that the facing out books are on the same side, like they're in the same bookcase, and then on the other side it's just like all straight up and down books. I don't know. I'm gonna do the rest of this off camera and then maybe fiddle around with it and then show you when I am satisfied with how it turned out. Okay, friends, I think I'm happy with how I have it, so let me show you what the shelves look like now. So I have put my knickknacks back on the shelves to give the full effect. The top 2 you've already seen, and then going down, I was able to get all of Rick Riordan back on one shelf. He is soon to be a multi-shelf author, unless I go back to stacking his books, because I do have the 2 latest Percy books on my TBR cart, one of which I will be reading this month. And then, what's the book coming out this year? It's not a Percy book. Oh, I think it's a second Nico book is coming out later this year. So that would go next to The Sun and the Star. I did have to do some stacking. Anne's books are now on display, as they should be, because I like to face out my friends' books. That's why Wallace, A Dark and Secret Magic, is facing out. And I didn't have space for Anne's to face out, because there's 3 of them. But now I do have the space, and so I have them on a little angle, which is real cute. And then the Kyoshi books are on their side, because I needed to fill up more space on the shelf, and it made it go from end to end perfectly. And also, there are other Avatar books. I think there's 4 more now at this point, because there's the 2 Yang Chen books. And then Roku, I think, is the other Avatar that has books now. And one is definitely out. The second one might also be out. I really don't know. But I will get them eventually, and they'll go in that cute little stack there. But this is all going to change quite a bit when I add books and also take more books away. Like I said, I'm doing a big unhaul, and I'm going to do like a very comprehensive look at every single book on my shelf when I go to actually film the unhaul to make sure I'm getting rid of all the books that no longer serve me and should not be on these shelves. So, yeah, that's the first prompt checked off. It is the 4th, so I kind of got to get a move on checking off other prompts, but I really don't know what I'm going to do for them. But I'll see you when I figure that out. Good morning, friends, and happy Thursday? Is it Thursday? Today's the 6th. I think it's Thursday. I, late last night, had a realization that the book I'm currently reading fits the Gilmore reading prompt, so I might as well read it for the vlog, never mind the fact that I'm already halfway through. But the book that I'm reading is Bird by Anne Lamott, so there are no G's in the title or author name. The Gilmore prompt, by the way, just for clarity, is a book with at least 3 G's on the cover, and those G's come from the subtitle and the little author credentials, I guess you could call them. So the subtitle is, I have the cover pulled up next to me on my computer because I'm reading it as an ebook, and I will put the cover up for you to see. Yeah, the cover has 25th anniversary edition, that has no G's, but the subtitle says some instructions on writing and life. There's a G at the end of writing, and then underneath the author's name it says New York Times best-selling author of almost everything, best-selling and everything also end in G's. So those ing words really helping me out here. So I unknowingly am fulfilling this prompt. Like I said, I am about 50% through. This is a writing craft book, as I'm sure you could tell from the subtitle, and it's okay. I'm not loving it. It's from, I think, the 90s, and like you can really tell the age, and also the writing style just isn't great, which like you're probably like, why are you reading a writing craft book from someone whose writing style doesn't gel with you? Because I'm just curious about what information is in there. I'm probably not gonna love it, but like, hopefully I at least get a couple of little tidbits of information out of it. We'll see. I probably, I was gonna say I probably won't finish it today, but I know that every time I say something, the opposite comes true, so I'll finish it either today or tomorrow and give you like a full, not update. I mean, I guess it's an update. I'll give you like my full thoughts on this book when I finish it, but I just accidentally started fulfilling a prompt, so I thought I would come on here and tell you about it. That seems to be the way things are going, is things are happening accidentally more than they're happening on purpose. So an update on the bookcase is that I actually really like this. I like this a lot more than I liked how it was before. It looks right. It looks better to me, and I'm so happy. So yeah, I will see you at some unidentified point in the future when I finish this prompt or I accidentally fulfill other prompts. Who knows? Hello, friends. It is Thursday evening now, and I'm here to tell you that I finished Bird by Bird. I did not enjoy that. I feel like, one, it was outdated because it was written 30 years ago, so like that is understandable. 2, very inaccessible writing style. Like, it's written as if it's supposed to be conversational, but like the author is trying to prove to you how smart she is with every sentence, and it just got really annoying, and I did find myself skimming several times because I just didn't want to read more of this writing style. 3, there's like subtly racist undertones, not in like a this book is racist kind of way, because it's not really about that sort of thing, but like just the way the author refers to different things. Like there's one part where she's talking about when she gave her dad the copy of her first book, which is a book that she wrote about like him having terminal cancer, and she says that he like raised his fist in a Black Power salute, and I'm like, aren't you white? Like you've talked about being white before in this book, and I looked it up and she is, and I'm like, so like why would you describe that action in that way? And like there's a couple of other like little moments like that that just felt so weird and off-putting. Also like a couple of different comments about autism where I'm like, just I didn't like it. I didn't like the way this was written. I also didn't really get a lot out of it from a writing perspective. Like all the advice that she gives is never really explained. Like, there's an entire chapter called, like, How to Know When You're Done or something like that. And it's, like, 10 pages long. It wasn't that long. It was one of the shorter chapters in the book. But, like, it was still several pages long. And it all just boiled down to, you'll be able to feel it. You'll be able to know when it's done. Ooh, that is my heat kicking on. Yes, there's, like, not very helpful there. There's an entire section on publishing where she's, like, giving all of this advice, but it's not really stuff that feels accessible. Like, she acts as if everyone has the same circumstances that she did, and the circumstances that she had were her father being a, like, semi-famous published author, and she's just able to send her work to his agent, and so his agent then just took her on. Like, not everyone has those circumstances, but she was acting like that was the case. Like, it was just so weird, and I didn't like this book. I didn't like it, but it did help me cross off this prompt, so at least I got that out of it. Now I think I'm going to have some dinner and I guess just hang out the rest of the evening. I don't know. I need to pick up a better book. I've had 2 books so far this month that I've really, really liked. 2 that I have not, like, enjoyed at all, but I've read all of it. And 2 that I've DNF'd. So, we're all over the place. I need my next book to be a winner. Maybe I'll see if I can find something that would fit a prompt, maybe. But, like, I have so many books on the TBR already that I don't need to be adding more just to fit a Vox Machina-thon prompt. I don't know. I'm just gonna hang out the rest of the night and not worry about books, not worry about prompts or anything. I will see you when I figure something out, though. Hello, friends. It is currently the 11th, and I'm here to show you that I have Stories Untold. Oh, these little wooden icons are so shiny on the cover. That's so fun. This is so beautiful. It's shorter than I expected, like, in height. The other Critical Role books are, like, tall hardcovers, but this one is very, like, almost square, which is interesting. But I've got my copy, and I'm so excited. Oh, I'm very, very much looking forward to getting into this. It is going to be my next read after I finish the book I'm currently reading, which I'll talk to you about in a second because it's going to cover a prompt. I realized this morning that I've only covered 2 prompts so far. And like I said, it's the 11th. So I better get on that. I'm going to try and rapid fire a few of them. So first up is a reading prompt. So I have Percy Jackson and the Chalice of the Gods, which I'm going to be reading to cover the Kynan? Is that how it's pronounced? I genuinely don't remember. Kynan or Keenan? Kynan. Reading prompt, which is to read a prompt from your favorite author, because he was a very big fan of Vox Machina, idolizing them, until they crushed his dreams a little bit. But it's fine, he got better. But yeah, Rick Riordan is a favorite author of mine, so that's going to cover that prompt, and it's very short. It's like 300 something pages. I don't even know. Is it less than 300 pages? No, I'm actually curious. 268, less than 300 pages. So I'll finish this up, like, today and tomorrow and get that squared away, and then I'll be able to pick up Stories Untold. The other prompts that I want to get done, I'm gonna do a 2-for-1 and cover the Sun Tree activity prompt and the Kevdak activity prompt together. So for the Sun Tree, it is to spend time in nature outside, and the Kevdak prompt is to do some sort of physical activity or exercise. So I am gonna go on a walk. I have a book to take back to the library, so I'm going to head down that way. Well, technically it's that way. I'm gonna head to the library, drop off this book, and then just keep going in a straight line. There's a little free library further down the road, and then a couple blocks after that, there's a nice little park. So I'm just gonna go on a walk. It is beautiful out today, which is great, but also not great, because that means the park is probably going to be full of people, and I don't like filming around people, so you may or may not see B-roll of this happening, but I promise you, it is what I'm going to do. I have to do a couple of chores first, just to check them off my to-do list for today. But then I will be going on my walk, and I will let you know how that goes. And then that would mean 3 more prompts between the 2 activity prompts and the reading prompt that I'm probably going to finish up tomorrow. 3 more prompts done. I'd be halfway through them all. Crazy. I still don't have plans for how I'm going to complete the other prompts, but we'll get there. Good morning, friends, and happy Wednesday, March 12th. Happy official 10th anniversary of Critical Role. That's so exciting. I'm so excited to stream tonight for this little celebration that I'm doing. I've got some fun things planned, so hopefully people show up and can participate. It'd be kind of sad if it was just me, but it's not my usual stream time, so I don't know if there's gonna be people showing up. Anyway, last night at about 10 p.m. I finished watching the last episode of EXU Divergence, sobbing, crying. It was so good. It was so good, you guys. My heart. Anyway, with an update directly relating to the readathon, I have finished The Chalice of the Gods, and this was so cute. It was just a nice, simple little adventure. Didn't really hit the way Percy Jackson books usually do, like the Percy Jackson original 5 series and then the Heroes of Olympus series. Those hit hard. This didn't really have that impact, but I still loved it and had a fantastic time with it. No complaints. I will take any adventures of Percy and Annabeth and Grover that I can get, but also Percy kind of deserves a break. He's been through a lot. Yeah, it was super cute, and I'm very excited to move on and read, what is the next one called? The Wrath of the Triple Goddess, I think? I'm excited to get to that at some point in the future. The third one, because there are going to be 3, is not coming out this year like I thought it was. Instead, we're getting a second book of Nico and Will going on adventures, which is really cute. I wasn't the biggest fan of The Sun and the Star, but like I said, it's Rick Riordan. I'm going to love whatever he puts out. So that is my Kynan? Is that the prompt I was fulfilling? The reading prompt? I think so. I don't know, I'll look at my spreadsheet thing that I have set up in my journal later. But that means the next book I'll be picking up is, in fact, Stories Untold. I stumbled over that, my bad. Yeah, I'm very excited. This is also not long. It's 10 stories, but they cover 275 pages. That is a small font with very little space around the words, so that's a little bit weird. Not a fan of that. Oh my god, there's a comic. That's crazy. That's very exciting though. But yeah, I will be getting to this at some point today, probably not until my stream tonight, but that's fine. I've got plenty of stuff to keep me occupied for the day. I still have no idea what I'm going to be doing for the other prompts, but I will let you know when I figure it out. Hello friends, it is now 9 p.m. and I'm done streaming. That was a really fun stream. I engaged with the chat to create a D&D character together, and I'm so happy with this character that we've come up with. Her name is Hymn, Hymn, like a hymnal, a song, because she is a tiefling College of Lore bard. She's a little bit trickstery, but she's a good character. She's kind of got like a Robin Hood type vibe to her because she's got the criminal background, but not in like a bad way. And Shannon, Crystal's husband, who was in the chat, put together some character. There's stuff all over my desk. That's weird. Put together character art that I then made, or have not yet, but at the time you're watching this, I will have made a version of using the Tiefling Maker pick crew, which is like my favorite pick crew ever. I love pick crew, but this one is just so good, and I'll pop that on screen for you to show you this little girl that we made. She's so cute, and I love her already. I'm obsessed. Maybe one day I can play her in like a game of or something, like a one-shot or campaign. But it was so fun doing that with everyone coming together to create this character. During the sprints, I was in fact reading Stories Untold. I can't believe I forgot what it was called. I am 74 pages in. I've read the first 2 stories. The first was The Sun Tree, which was a little bit hard to get into at first, but then I almost cried in the end. And then we had Kaylee's, which was really sweet. And now I'm on to Raishan's. I've read like the first third of it. And I will continue and read the rest, but first I'm going to make that pick crew, because that's what I want to do right now. And then I will probably get into bed and continue reading until I go to bed. But yeah, it's been a really fun day, and I am glad that I got to celebrate Critical Role's 10th anniversary just a little bit. But I am going to go now, and I will see you at some point. Friends, and happy Friday. It is March 14th. Happy Pi Day, I guess. I am here to complete another prompt, and today's prompt that I'll be completing is the activity prompt for Lady Kima. It's actually very fitting because I just finished Kima's story in Stories Untold. I have 3 more to read, and then I'll give you a wrap up on the whole book. But Kima is a paladin of the Platinum Dragon, and her whole thing, everything about her, is doing good for other people, standing up for those who can't stand up for themselves, making the world a better place. And so for that reason, the prompt for Kima is to do some good in the world and do some good for someone else. And the good that I'm doing is promoting my best friend's song. My best friend Tiara Tobin released her debut single today, and it's so good. It's called Cut You Off Season. I will leave a link in the description for you to check out. It's a banger, it's a bop. I'm truly obsessed, but I think everyone should listen to this. I'm here supporting my bestie, and you can support me in supporting her by checking it out. So that is my doing some good. It's a very minor act, I feel, but you know, it's the little things that add up and make the world a better place. So that is what I was here to do. I have my bullet journal here with all the prompts listed out, and I don't know. Let's see, what do I have left to complete? Trinket, I have to either read a book with an animal companion or enjoy a sweet treat. For Kaylee, I have to read a book with a sound component or have a dance party, which I could do. I could put Tiara's song on Spotify and like just have it add songs that are similar to it and have a little dance party like that. That might be something I do. Not quite sure. For Dodie, I have to either read a science fiction or do some memory journaling, which I kind of do memory journaling every day. My bullet journal is more of a memory journal because I don't do to-do lists in it. I do all the things that I've done in the day, but I don't know if that counts. It feels a little weird checking off a prompt with something that I would be doing regardless, you know? I have to do Kainen's prompt, which is either reading a book. No, I did that. I read a book by my favorite author, so never mind, I don't have to do Kainen's. I have to do Craven Edges, though, which is a book with a weapon on the cover, or to indulge myself in some way. So yeah, I have 4 more prompts to do. I should check off these now while I'm here. favorite author and do some good. Yeah, so we're like halfway through the month and I've done 6 out of 10 prompts, so I'm doing pretty good. I will figure out how I'm going to complete the rest of these and come back to you when it's time to do that. Hello, friends. It is 7 p.m. now. I have had a very long day, but I'm here to tell you that I finished Stories Untold, and this was just so sweet, so cute. I truly loved all of the stories in here. There were a few that I would say I liked more, but there are none that I disliked. So let's see. Let me pull up the contents. My favorites? Definitely Craven Edge, his comic, because that's just so funny. The Raishan story, which I expected to be one of my favorites because I love Raishan. Dodie's was really good. Kevdak's, Kima's. Honestly, they were all so good. Genuinely, I enjoyed all of them. So, 10 out of 10 story collection. Highly recommend if you are a critter checking this out. I will give a warning. If you are not a fan of spiders, maybe don't read Trinket's story because they feature very heavily and it's pretty gross. Just a heads up, but yeah, I had a great time reading this, so I'm gonna do my journal spread for it now. I did come up with some tentative plans for covering the rest of the prompts, but I don't think I'm going to tell you about them now, just in case they change. But just know that I have an idea of what I'm doing for the last 4 prompts I have to cover. I will tell you about them when they happen, though. So until then, I'm going to go do some other stuff. Hello, friends. I am woefully off-center in this shot, but that's fine, I guess. It is 8:15 p.m. on Friday the 21st, and I'm finally going to complete another prompt. Well, I'm going to make progress on another prompt. I'm not completing it tonight. But the Craven Edge reading prompt is to read a book with a weapon on the cover, and we are fudging things a little bit. I have Razorblade Tears by S.A. Cosby, and I am going to consider Razorblade to be a weapon, and I'm going to consider the fact that the word is in the title as being on the cover. So does it really fit the prompt? No, but it's fine. These are my prompts, and I get to interpret them how I want. You can also interpret them how you want and fudge them and make them work for you. So this is a book about 2 men, a black man and a white man, whose sons were married to each other, and the 2 sons are killed, and so these 2 men are like looking into that and trying to figure out who killed them. I think that's what I vaguely remember from the inside flap that I read when I bought this several months ago. I was at a library book sale, and when I brought it up to the front to buy it, the lady who was there was like, "Oh, we read this for our book club a couple of months ago, and everyone loved it, so I hope you do too." And I hope I do. It's definitely going to be a hard-hitting one, and it's not like my usual type of book because it is contemporary, and I don't know. I don't read this genre often, but I'm looking forward to it, and I'm going to start reading it tonight. So I will get on that and give you updates as I go, I guess. Hello, friends, and happy Sunday afternoon. Yesterday, I had a wild day. I was so tired that I went to bed at like 8:30, so I didn't update you then, but I wanted to update you now to let you know that I completed another prompt yesterday. I completed Trinket's activity prompt, which is to have a sweet treat, which I will put a picture up here, or if I'm too lazy when I'm editing, it'll just be part of the thumbnail. You'll see a picture of a treat somewhere. But I was going to get a San Giuseppe pastry, or a St. Joseph's pastry, either way, which is something you can only get this time of year because St. Joseph's Day is March 19th, which is my half birthday, but that doesn't matter here. It's just a fun little fact. But you can really only get them in March. And there's this really good Italian bakery in Reading Terminal Market, which is this food place in the city. We don't have to get into it. But my boyfriend and I were already going into the city because we were then going to take Amtrak up to Newark to go to a hockey game. And so we're like, let's stop at Reading Terminal to get to this bakery and get some pastries. And they didn't have any. They had already like sold out of all the ones they planned on making this year. And I'm like, it's literally 2 days after, maybe 3 days after the holiday, and you already don't have any? I was so upset. So we got tiramisu instead, which, don't get me wrong, I love tiramisu. It's so good. But I was so excited for this pastry that I can only get like 1 month a year, and so I didn't get one this year, and that's very disappointing. But I still had a nice little sweet treat. I did do some reading in Razorblade Tears. It's this really beautiful green color, and it's got this embossed logo for the publisher, and I think it's a very nice, lovely naked hardback, but that has nothing to do with anything. I'm 119 pages in, so about a third, and I'm enjoying it. Like I said, it's not totally my favorite genre to read, so I'm not like absolutely loving it, but I understand that it is a very powerful story, and definitely getting that. And I am intrigued to see how it all plays out. I did notice a continuity error. There's one part where our two main characters, Ike and Buddy Lee, they're having a conversation, and it says Ike takes his phone out of his pocket and puts it on the table or something like that. And then like 4 paragraphs later, he does it again. So there was an edit that was made where he does it either earlier or later, and the original line was not taken out. And I noticed. Other than that, the only like complaint I really have is that our two main characters are both men, and we do get a couple of other POVs throughout. This is told in third person, omniscient-ish. It's not like totally omniscient, but it's also more than like a limited POV. We do see other characters, and they're all men. Like, there's really only, so far, the only female characters we've seen have been Ike's wife, who's been in a couple of scenes, their granddaughter that they're now taking care of, and she's been in like a scene. Ike also has a secretary who's been in a couple of scenes, and then they've talked to a woman in one other scene. So like very few women. So a lot of people using he, him pronouns. And so often there have been like pages and paragraphs where the choice between using the character's name, whoever is like saying or doing something, versus using the pronoun was what I would call the wrong choice. It will like be so confusing when it uses he that like I won't know which person it's talking to, and I'll have to like reread the passage to figure it out. And on the other hand, there have been times where the character's name is used way too often, where it'll be like a paragraph of Buddy Lee doing stuff, and it'll be 5 sentences, and 4 of them will have his name in it, and it's just so unnecessary. If it's like only him doing it, you can use the pronoun and not his name. So that is very jarring when it happens. So I am really enjoying it, but I'm not absolutely 100% sold, obsessed with it, but it is still a good book so far. So I'm going to continue reading this, and I guess I'll see you when I finish it. Friends. It is nearly 7 p.m. on Monday the 24th, and I have just finished Razorblade Tears. This was good. I feel like I would have gotten a lot more out of it if this was a genre that I really like. So, not a favorite, but I see the merit. I did enjoy it for what it was, just not my thing. But that is the Craven Edge prompt. checked off, which means I have 2 more to go, and I'm going to knock them out with the same book. This is perhaps the complete opposite book of Razor Blade Tears. I'm actually going to put this off to the side and not in my lap. Yeah, it is like completely the opposite vibes. That book is Ice Planet Honeymoon by Ruby Dixon. This is actually a collection of 4 short stories, novellas. I don't know how long they are, but each one follows a different couple from the first 4 books of the Ice Planet Barbarians series, and having read the first 4 books, I can now read this little collection. And this will check off the Dodie prompt because it is a sci-fi, and it will check off the Kaylee prompt because I've got the audiobook from my library. I am not a fan of smutty audiobooks. They make me uncomfortable, but for this, to complete the prompt, I'll do it. I do also have it as an ebook, so I'll like listen as I read on my phone, or I'll probably listen through my phone and then read on my computer. That's probably what's gonna happen. And yeah, that won't take me very long. I think the audiobook is like 5 hours total, and I usually listen to audiobooks at like 2 to 2.5 times speed. So yeah, I will probably knock that out tomorrow and then be done. That's weird, but I don't know. I'm gonna skedaddle and see you when that happens to wrap all of this up. It feels so weird, but that's just the way things have gone. Hello, I am here for a very quick update. It is just past 9, and I decided I wanted to listen to a little bit of Ice Planet Barbarians, or Ice Planet Honeymoon is the book that I'm listening to, before I went to bed. Why does Georgie have a southern accent? What? I did not expect that. But the narrator just started speaking and just a very thick southern accent, and I was blown away. Like, I'm literally 3 paragraphs into this, and I had to stop because I was so shocked. I understand accents in audiobooks. I'm not a fan of them. I have a hard time understanding accents. I have an audio processing issue. This has completely thrown me off. Okay. Well, I'm gonna get back to it, and hopefully I get used to it quickly. Hello, friends. It is just past noon on Tuesday, and I have finished reading Ice Planet Honeymoon. The audiobook part of it was not my favorite. As we've established, I was very surprised by certain characters' accents, and also kind of similar to that. So we have these human women and then these alien men. There are alien women too, but like the romances are between human women and alien men. They don't always speak each other's languages. Like, some of them do, some of them don't. And even if they do speak the same language, the pronunciation isn't always like correct. Like, the main character in the first book, and therefore the first story in this collection, is named Georgie, but the Sakui is what they're called, the aliens, have trouble with that j sound. So whenever it's her partner Vectel speaking, he says Shorshi. And like, things like that also really bothered me. I don't like books that are written in dialect, I guess. I think that's what it's called when a book is like, has phonetically written out the way characters pronounce things. That's not really my favorite thing. So that kind of bothered me hearing it. Also, still not a fan of the smutty parts being spoken directly into my ear. I just don't enjoy that. It feels so awkward. But I did enjoy these stories. They were not necessary, but they were fun. They were a good time, and I liked getting to return to some of these characters and see a little bit more of them, especially Liz and Rahash. Those 2 are my favorite. They're the couple from the second book. I just really love them. They're so good together. But yeah, this was a fun time. And now my computer is going to interrupt me and make sounds. But now we are finished because that was it. Those were all of the prompts that I had to fulfill. Let me get my little tracker. Actually, I can show you. So I just made it in my regular bullet journal. And here we have all the prompts listed out, and I checked off which one I completed for each character and crossed off the ones that I didn't do. So now they're all done. So we've now come to the end of the vlog. If you've enjoyed it, be sure to give it a big thumbs up. You can subscribe to my channel for more content, and that way I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye everyone.